Welcome everyone to the 8th plot. We're back with another What If episode, and this is a special episode because it's our Christmas episode.
Belated Christmas.
It is belated. We are filming this and releasing it after Christmas, but we didn't want to do this podcast with our families eating and enjoying presents in the background while we were recording this. I guess no, we waited a couple of days and we're doing it. But this is also our Happy New Year episode.
Nice.
Nice. So it's two holidays in specials. Yes, in one, I guess.
Two for the price of one.
You can hear them in the background. I've got obviously Scott with me.
Hello.
And Ben with me.
Hello.
Guys, you want to say some season's greetings to our many fans?
So we're far too polite to let each other go first. Ben, why don't you go first?
Oh, okay. Thank you all for joining us on the 8th plot this year. You have made our year, and we hope that you have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Indeed.
Other holidays are available.
And Scott, do you have season's greetings?
Just Happy Christmas. Yeah, that's it.
Happy Christmas.
Short and sweet.
And a Happy New Year.
No, we can't say that. Copyrighted.
What? Who's copyrighted Happy
I don't
New
know.
Year?
Someone.
Oh, that's a good point. I just sung it. Nobody tell whoever owns this song that I did that. I hope it must be in public domain by now.
Probably.
I hope so.
I'm
not paying.
It was less than 5 seconds. You'll be fine.
Yes, true. It's.
It wasn't sung very well, so.
Thank you.
I don't think the audio actually picked it up.
So no one's going to. We don't want to take money off that guy. That guy's singing was appalling. Okay, thank you, Scott. At least I feel better about that.
Keeping the Christmas cheer.
Christmas cheer. And in line with Christmas cheer, we'll do things a little bit differently because this is a special Christmas episode. So you've obviously noticed that our film this episode is going to be Home Alone 1 and 2. However, you two want to approach it, and maybe my own idea as well, what I would do in the Home Alone universe. But I thought because it's Christmas, Home Alone is not our favourite Christmas movie. It's a great Christmas movie, but we will have our individual favourite Christmas movies. So we're going to apply the what if rules to our favourite Christmas movies very briefly. So Scott, we'll start with you.
Yes.
What is your favourite Christmas movie?
Oh, well, one of my favourite Christmas films is probably The Santa Claus with Tim Allen. I think it's a great film.
So the plot, if I recall this correctly, is that Santa's on top of his house.
Yes.
Ted Edmonds' character basically kills Santa.
Well, he wanted, because Tim Allen doesn't really believe in Santa. He sort of goes out, Dad, someone's on the roof, and it's like, hey buddy, get down. And he goes, what? And he falls off.
And that Santa then, he decides, for some reason, the first thing Tim Allen's character thinks to do is to undress this guy who fell off the roof of his house.
He disappeared, he wasn't undressed.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
He disappeared, the clothes were just there.
That poor guy, who probably had a life of his own. No way, that was Santa, whatever. And then Tim Allen puts on the cloak and becomes Santa and steps into Santa's dead shoes.
Yeah.
Kind of like a what's it called? A Wizard of Oz situation where Dorothy killed the witch and then just decided to take her shoes because why not?
Yeah.
So what would you do if I threw you into the Santa Claus movie universe right there at the beginning? What would you do? What would you do to take advantage?
My first goal is to become Santa Claus. So I find a way to chuck Santa off the roof first and then get to his clothes and put them on.
So,
Right.
Okay.
Efficient.
It's efficient. I was going to suggest if you didn't want blood on your hands, you could just
wait.
You could just wait for Tim Allen to knock him down.
That's true.
And then
you just
you
run past
Like,
and grab the coat.
I tell you what you do. You dress up. You pile snow around yourself,
Yes.
and then hold your and just wait there as a snowman, right next to where you know he will fall. And Tim Allen knocks him down. He falls down. He's dead. Then suddenly the snowman bursts apart with you, and he goes, "Excuse me," and you whip away the cloak and you run off into the night,
Yes.
putting it on, and then you will become Santa Claus.
Yes.
You'll be kidnapped by the reindeer and the sleigh, presumably. Is that how it worked? I can't remember.
I don't really know how it worked. I think for some reason they put on the clothes and went onto the roof and then reindeer and then I become this big fat man with a beard that won't stop growing.
Yeah, and you get to spend the rest of your life being Santa, and you're happy with that scenario.
Sure, why not?
Sure.
Christmas cheer to children in all.
Yeah. I assume you're now immortal as well.
I'm not sure how it
Unless
works.
when he dies, his clothes just like float away to the next person.
You see, that's where I'm
Because
sort of...
assuming Santa Claus beforehand has his own life, the guy who threw Santa off the roof before him.
Who
Well,
probably
Santa.
killed another Santa in the past, and then took over
How
the
many
role.
Santa's deaths have been on our hands?
Well, humanity's hands ever since the beginning of it. But presumably,
Who
in
was
the
Santa?
lore, it was Saint Nick, and then Saint Nick magicked his clothes, and then that became, and then the next person for some reason put it on. It's just a long line of people trying on this coat and becoming Santa Claus randomly.
And my first act as Santa Claus would be to immediately fire Bernard.
That's the old elf, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the guy in charge. I don't want him in charge anymore.
Why don't you want him in charge?
I'm reforming Christmas.
You're gonna make it like really like efficient, and are you gonna really stick to the naughty list? And
Yes.
yes, you are.
Oh
course.
dear.
Lots of coal for you, coal for you, coal for you.
Because people keep threatening to cancel Christmas and they never do.
I never do.
So you cancel Christmas if the world's been too naughty. Reforming Christmas.
Reform Christmas.
Alright.
Yeah. Do you like? What do you like best about the film, though? Like, why do you think?
I don't know.
why is it
I
one of
just
your
really
favourites?
like Tim Allen as an actor, so I'm just happy he's in.
Fresh off his Buzz Lightyear sort of time. Okay, the Santa Claus. I haven't seen it in ages, but it was a great. I like the concept of
I
it.
think that the films can get considerably worse as you go on.
I mean, there's a dark subtext to the universe of, like, if the world ever found out that you could become Santa by killing the previous Santa.
Just waiting there with a shotgun. Hey, Santa. It's like, I'm Santa now. And then he goes to the next house and there's...
It's kind of like the Elder Wand of of holidays. If you own it, if you kill the person before, you get. There's something else. There must be something else that if you kill the person beforehand, you get it. You get its power.
Probably.
And there must be. I can't think of what it is. It's out there somewhere though. If not,
Leave it in the comments because I know what he's talking about.
there must be if you remember in the comments, if you watch this video to at least this point, put in the comments what other kill the person then you gain their power kind of routine is there in a film, and then imagine that in the Christmas scenario, and then basically you've got the Santa Claus. Excellent, thank you. And throughout the rest of this conversation, Scott will be portrayed as the Santa Claus.
Tim Allen.
From the Santa Claus.
Who's only got better looking with age.
Or the logo from the film, whatever I can find on the internet. So there you go. So that's Scott. That will represent Scott for the rest of this.
And if worse comes to worse, we'll just put a picture of Buzz Lightyear on.
Exactly. Maybe that's more funny. Maybe I'll do that.
Buzz Lightyear with a Christmas hat on.
Yes, I'm
And a
sure
beard.
I'm sure there is one. And
So
if there
if you
is,
immediately skip to Home Alone, you'll just be immediately confused why Buzz Lightyear's on your screen.
exactly. So don't skip. And if I found one afterwards, post production, then. Yeah, Scott's now Buzz Lightyear. If not, he's still the Santa Claus. So, moving on to Ben. Ben, what is one of your favourite Christmas films?
One of my favourite Christmas films is Elf.
Ah,
With-
classic.
With Will Ferrell and...
What is the basic plot of Elf for people who might have not seen it? No spoilers, if you can.
It came out like however long ago.
Yeah, but some people haven't seen it.
If you haven't seen it, go see it.
There's a lot of Will Ferrell films to work your way through.
Yeah, that's true. But so basically, the Santa goes and visits an orphanage to deliver some presents, and one of the kids gets out of their
You say kid like they're 5, it's a little bubba.
sorry,
It's
a
a
baby
Okay.
climbs out of their cot, and because they see a teddy bear in Santa's sack, and he then gets taken to the North Pole accidentally, and he then becomes an elf. But he's also a human, so he's so much bigger than them.
Because Will Ferrell's like 6 something or whatever.
Yeah.
He's a tall man.
He doesn't fit at his desk in the
Yeah.
elf school. He has an adopted father.
He gets bullied. Well, not bullied, but like he doesn't have the best life, and then he goes
Are you kidding me? He's listening to the North Pole.
Yeah, that's true. And then he goes looking for his real dad and his real family in New York City.
Okay.
The Big Apple.
Yes.
The Big
Which-
Apple.
which
as
one-
with all films prove, is probably the worst place to spend Christmas, because
Yes.
if you do, you'll get attacked by gangs, or
Yes.
you have to. As Home Alone suggests,
Marvin
protect
Howie.
your home alone. Harv and Howie
Marvin
married.
Howie.
And although if you're, I guess, living in New York, at Christmas time, you probably will find your romantic interest. So there's pros and cons
But
to
Yeah.
living in New York at the time of Christmas in a
But you
movie
will need
universe.
big card and lots of permanent marker.
Yes.
I assume we'll mention Love Actually.
Oh, that's what we're talking about.
Because I've
But
not
that's
seen
a
it,
that's
so I
a
was
dodgy.
taking
You
it.
haven't
That's a-
seen it?
No.
That's
I was
a
taking
terrible
educated
film.
guess.
Oh, but
We are
that's
cancelling
not New
this.
York. That's London.
Is it?
And that scene is problematic. So
Then my education
it's
gets
not
was
exactly
incorrect.
a best friend
No,
moment.
it's the best friend of the husband, like
Trying to
basically
court his wife away
yeah.
from him. So no, thank you. Although I did think it was a court first, then you learn as you age.
Tangent control.
Tangent. Thanks, Scott. Back to Elf. Thank you, Scott. Ben, what would you do if you were inside the Elf universe?
Well, I know where the North Pole is now, and I know that Santa exists, and he's got this entire workshop of elves.
And it's,
So
in the world of Elf, no one really believes in Santa
No.
anymore. Not really. There's some are, but not the world mainstream
no,
world.
so I'm gonna get a documentary crew together. We're gonna go like spying in the North Pole, and
You should get David Attenborough.
Yeah,
to
you
narrate
should.
it.
Yeah, David Attenborough. And now
And here
Elf.
we see
the 6-foot elf, the genetic freak, we presume, of this particular group.
And here we see a crazy man dressed as an elf running through New York.
and here we have a wild Santa in his natural habitat.
8 reindeer, one with a red nose.
What a weirdo!
I don't think Attenborough really. That was not good of us to sort of portray David Attenborough just then.
No.
As calling.
David Attenborough, if you're watching,
We're sorry.
yeah.
Merry Christmas to you.
I'm not a stand by all my statements.
But also, yeah, he doesn't. It doesn't interfere with that level, but I still think he should voice this documentary
Yeah.
within universe.
So yeah, I'd get documentary footage of Santa proving his existence, and
Yeah.
boom, Christmas changes forever for the rest of the world.
What would you think the consequences would be if the world saw a documentary proving that Santa was actually real?
Well,
People would be nicer.
here's
think it
my
would be?
problem with all Christmas films.
Yes.
Because allegedly all these parents don't believe in Santa Claus. But presents end up that they don't know they're buying under the tree. So like, how did these get here? Like, how is that an explanation? It's like, what is happening there?
There is no explanation for
How does
how
it work?
in every Christmas film where Santa Claus is supposedly real, there is no explanation. There's never any sort of magical sort of MacGuffin or get out of jail free card which like makes people think that this present came from somewhere and not question it.
It's illogical.
Do you think like if like in your scenario you prove that Santa exists by using the Elf universe logic? How would Christmas, like, would people start adopting Christmas around the world and start behaving better in order to get those good gifts?
You've got some parents like putting notes on the chimney like, please do not disturb, or something.
Well, I'm reforming Christmas, so that would be how I would work.
Some people would try to capture Santa Claus as well,
Yes.
wouldn't they?
Have
There'd
a
be
net
bear
in-
traps at the
and-
bottom of the...
Bear trap.
I'm sorry, that was an extreme.
Come down the chimney. Ah, my...
We've got him! We've got Santa Claus! We're taking your sack and everything in it. Because they almost caught him in Elf. He crashed.
Yeah, that's true.
Because not enough people in New York, because it's a terrible place,
Yeah.
as portrayed in every Christmas movie, didn't believe enough and the reindeer crashed.
And then they sang for some reason.
That means you've got to get your documentary out before the events of Elf happen.
Yeah.
Because otherwise Elf will prove that Santa Claus does exist.
I mean, if I'm being thrown in at the time of the...
Orphanage bit.
Yeah, so
You've got 18
I've got like
years
18
or whatever,
years
20
or something.
years, something like that. Yeah. That worked. How old was Will Ferrell? 30 by the time? Something like that?
Don't know.
I love Will Ferrell in that Christmas film, especially because New York. Because they couldn't afford real actors, so they just ran up to people on the street going, Santa! In that big red suit, was like, oh, you're not Santa, and just walked away from them. And
I love how they've like
Cruel.
found somebody who was wearing a massive red coat and like
with a Santa beard.
yeah.
And, and when he's spinning in the doors, you could actually see a security guard going up to the door, going to go, what are you doing? But then he walks away. Then he does it again, and he comes back. It was just so nervous.
I didn't realise that was all ad-libbed to some extent. I will just notice something wrong about Elf, and that is the fact that they finally got rid of Will Ferrell, the Elf character, because he had gotten too big. But he was like 30-year-old Will Ferrell at that point, or whatever. He wasn't like he hadn't just turned 18.
No.
And he must have been there for a good 10 years, that height. And
And
only now do they think to get rid of him?
Yeah.
And it was child abduction to a certain extent, so it was all illegal.
Yeah, I wonder if anyone got fired at the orphanage for losing a kid. I wonder if there was any big hoo-ha about that.
It's like, where did this child go? I mean, like, he has a family. I
Yeah.
mean, presumably
He did have a family.
lawsuits
James Cameron
everywhere.
was
So like,
was his family. Yeah. It's a dodgy universe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As
But I
it
do
is
like
with
it.
every Christmas movie, I think.
Oh, hang on, that's a good question. Is there a non? No, there's good Christmas universes like Christmas Carol, except for the fact those ghosts only. Do you think in Christmas Carol? Do you think they target any other people?
They taunt him, and then they're like,
But they change Scrooge. That's good, and they show him truths. But why have they not been doing that? Like this is the turn of the century, sort of. No, it's Dickensian, so you're like mid 19th century. There are lots of people, evil people in the world, who could probably do with free spirits convincing them not to be evil. And no.
no, it's because it's Kermit the Frog being bullied, and like the ghosts love him so much.
They only did it for Kermit.
Mm.
We better change this guy's evil
Yeah.
boss so he has a better life. That's more dark and depressing than
Yeah.
the fact that these spirits don't do anything about all the other evil people in the world. I mean, at the time of writing, there's a civil war about slavery in America. I think some Confederate soldiers could do a visit from free spirits.
Yes.
That's my problem with A Christmas Carol. Slight interjection, Scott. Tangent.
Tangent control.
And now we're back. Thank you.
We need like a siren. And woo, woo, woo.
I thought you were gonna get that for Christmas.
No, I didn't ask Santa Claus for it.
What?
Wasn't on my Christmas list.
Oh dear.
Okay, so that's Elf. You're now the most famous documentarian in the world.
Indeed.
Um,
Along with my partnership for 20 years with David Attenborough.
I'm pretty sure David Attenborough's immortal at this point.
He must be immortal. I hope he is, because
Along with-
I can't bear to lose that voice on nature documentaries.
Along with her Royal Majesty the Queen, I'm pretty sure she's immortal as well. The
Only
parents
well,
immortal.
only the rich and powerful would. Slight political aside. And that now comes to me. My favourite. Oh, so
What
Ben,
is your favourite, Mark?
Hang on, just got to cover this. Ben, you will be therefore represented by Elf for the rest of this
Or just
video.
a real
Can
character.
you Photoshop my face into an elf body?
I will try. I
and
make no
Photoshop
promises.
like Scott's onto a Santa Claus. with
Inside a Buzz
in a
Lightyear of a hat. You're giving me way too much homework that I don't really want to do. Anyway, that's what you'll be represented for the rest of this episode. One of my favourite Christmas episodes, a Christmas film, sorry, is Die Hard. Specifically Die Hard 1. Die Hard 2 is a Christmas film as well because it takes part of
Is
Christmas.
Die Hard a Christmas film?
This is the debate that raged this time of year on places like Twitter and Facebook, it
What?
seemed.
Like,
I
It
agree
takes
with-
place at Christmas. What else do you need?
I agree with
There's
Brooklyn
snow at the
Nine-Nine.
end. They say so.
I agree with Brooklyn Nine-Nine. It is a Christmas film.
I say it is. a
you
Christmas
agree with Jake from Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
Yes.
Jake Peralta. Oh, go watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine if you haven't.
Yes,
Um,
it is great.
It is great
It is
fun.
great.
And do you not think, Ben, therefore it is a Christmas film?
I mean, I haven't
I don't care
seen
that
it.
Bruce Willis says it's not. I don't care for his opinion on the matter. He's just the actor.
What does he know? Yeah.
What does he know?
On Disney Plus, it is suggested as a Christmas film.
There you
so
go.
There you go,
I-
Bruce
I-
Willis.
Although I hate to say this, I will trust Disney with that opinion.
The mouse is coming for you.
Yeah.
The maps is even alone.
sure I
We
can
agree
take
with
it.
Disney.
But, so you don't think it is a Christmas film?
I mean, I haven't seen it, so I
good point.
can't really.
He's just turned
Oh, then
18.
in that case, this is a perfect segue into me telling you the plot of the film.
Oh, good.
So the plot of the film is a cop from New York. New York again. Anyway.
What a bad place to live.
But it's not in New York, it's in Los Angeles, which turns out to be a worse place. Because, either way, he goes to see his wife, who's sort of estranged from, who works for a really big business in Los Angeles in this place called Nakatomi Tower, or Plaza, whatever it was. And when he gets there to see his wife and sort of make up with her and get her to come to New York, see their kids, stuff like that. No, wait, the kids were living with Harley! Sorry, just wanted to do that bit from the film. Harley!
He's
Anyway.
been dying to do that since we started talking about this. hasn't
Exactly, I love that bit. He screams it all the time. And in the second film. Either way, but when they get to this building where this work do is happening, the whole tower is then sort of accosted by terrorists, or actually I guess they're not really terrorists, criminals is probably better, led by Alan Rickman.
Oh,
Um,
no.
Yeah,
I
this
don't.
is one of his best
I
performances.
don't
it
like
has to
Die
be
Hard
said.
anymore.
But either
Alan
way,
Rickman's so
the
good.
terrorists take over the building. People get killed, but he gets separated. The John McClane, played by Bruce Willis, gets separated and has to defeat the terrorists. And he just basically goes through hell trying to his t-shirt gets ripped, he's cut, his feet get cut up and everything. In the end, I won't spoil what happens, but. Either way, it's a Christmas film because it's Christmas decorations in the background, and he kills someone. John McClane kills someone and writes "Ho ho ho! Now I have a machine gun on his jumper. So it's a Christmas film based on that evidence alone.
By that logic, spoiler alert if you haven't seen Spider-Man yet, I do apologise. So spoiler.
No. It's too soon. We can't say.
Tangent
anything.
Control.
So,
But that's a Christmas film too because it takes place at Christmas.
It was released at Christmas.
There you go. But that's... Oh, okay, whatever.
spoiler
Back to
alert.
Die
Sorry.
Hard. That's the plot, basically, Ben. I do suggest you watch it. It's a great action film.
Is it
And
just
it
action?
has a sort of knock-on effect with other action films throughout history. All the last 40 years, or whatever it is.
And the most famous sign, which I shan't repeat here because it's far too rude.
Yes, it's definitely too rude for our pod. We don't want to be demonetised in the future. But anyway, and don't repeat those words. Kids.
Or do what Charles Moore does and just make them up.
But either way, what would I do about Die Hard? You won't understand this, Ben. So, but spoiler alert. But towards the end of the film, Ben's pretty sensitive. Either way, towards the end of the film, the terrorists are actually there just to steal money. In the end, it's a big heist for them, and they've got hundreds of millions of pounds on on a van ready to go. Every other terrorist is being taken care of by John McClane, but at the bottom, this one terrorist who's trying to get away with the money, a limo driver just smashes into his van, knocks him out, and then he's either dead or gets arrested, and then that limo driver is a hero as well at the end for foiling the plot and making sure the money doesn't get stolen. But I'll be there. I would have parked up at Nakatomi Plaza before any of this happens, like just like at the like on the periphery, turn the lights off in my car, just read a book. I'll hear gunfire above me, explosions. I'm being bad in this, so I don't really going to help John McClane save anyone. But when the limo driver smashes into the van, that's when I come out of nowhere, chloroform the limo driver, and then I steal the bonds, and I walk away with hundreds of millions in, I don't know what it was, bonds, money, whatever it was at the end, and then I just, don't know,
Bitcoin.
Bitcoin, whatever the equivalent of it's kind of like a Bitcoin thing. But anyway, I walk away, not. Whatever. It's money. It's lots of money, and I just then get back in my car and hide there until it's time for me to drive out without any of the police knowing where'd that money go? That the terrorist, I must have got blown up or set on fire, and that's how I would take advantage of the Die Hard film at the beginning. I suppose if I was good, I could just stop the terrorists from ever getting into the building in the first place by just blowing up the van at the very beginning, so that they drive up, they park. They get ready to infiltrate the building, and say the whole van explodes, and everyone above goes, "That was a loud firework that someone released, I guess, for Christmas." And then later on, they'll find the exploded van in the basement. But what does it matter? They don't know why it happened. But I saved everyone, including that sleazy corporate lawyer guy. But whatever, you can't.
Well done for that, Mark.
Yes, there's
You
two.
spoiled the movie for me, and now I don't need to watch it.
You don't.
It's
You
a
do.
Christmas film, it's always a happy ending.
In that case, watch Die Hard 2.
I don't.
And this is a controversial opinion. I love that as a sequel.
There's like 4 Die Hards, isn't there?
5. Wait, 4?
Four.
5. No, it's 5. And they get progressive. Well, actually, after number 3, they get progressively worse.
That's just with any
Although
film,
number
isn't
4
it?
is entertaining. It's still a Die Hard movie, I guess. Oh well.
I mean, that's just the plot with any film when sequels have more than 3.
But this is why I think the second Die Hard is such a good sequel, because it just takes the exact same plot of the first one and just transports it to a different location. So
That's
I think
what Home Alone 2
everything's
does.
fresh. But everything's fresh still. It's just the same thing, but it's still entertaining.
That
That's
is-
why Home Alone 1 and 2 are... Home Alone 2 is a good sequel because it's exactly the same place in a different place with different traps, and it's all fresh while being the same thing, and I feel safe in it. That's why I'm safe with Die Hard 2. It's exactly the same plot, but slightly fresher bad guys and a glossy cover of paint at an airport, and it's fine. It's a good sequel. I don't care what you say in the comments. I would not read them if you say Mark is wrong about Die Hard 2. Which is why I'm going to be represented by
Bruce Willis.
John
McClane. John McClane in this case. I get the call.
Speaking of Home Alone, should we move on to Home Alone?
Yes, I think we should. We don't want to, beat around the bush. I guess we'll just get straight into it.
So, what do people think of Home Alone? Should we start with that?
Well, I was like, you guys weren't even born when it first came out, and I saw it, and I thought it was epic. Like I thought, that's such a cool thing to like defend your home.
Yeah.
Not in the classical American way, which is shooting at people, but with traps.
And spiders accidentally.
Yes, paint tins that should have killed
Yes.
them 3 times
Yeah.
over. Burning M into someone's hand.
Nails in the floorboards.
Exactly, that's
Bricks.
tetanus.
Yeah.
Iron on the face. These things are all, and it was hilarious.
They're all hilarious.
Yeah.
Home Alone 1 and 2 was good. 3 is tolerable.
I've
4,
never bothered to see 2, 3 or 4.
I haven't.
3 is
no, I
tolerable.
haven't.
4 is no good. The one that's just come out is no good either.
We're going to focus on 1 and 2
Best.
today. The best, the Macaulay Culkin, who made them what they are. Yes. And number 2 is just it's the same thing.
It's
just
the same
in
with
New
Donald
York.
Trump.
There's Tim Curry. There's Donald Trump. Which is bad, I guess. That's the worst thing about that
It's
film.
the most random cameo ever.
Yeah,
It's like, oh yeah, excuse me, sir, where's the lobby? It's like, oh, Daniel Hall to the left. And it's like, why is Donald Trump in this?
yeah.
There was no need for him to be in this.
Well, whatever he had this thing back in, I guess it was the 90s, where if you were ever using his property, he had to star in the film.
It was very funny.
So thankfully, not a lot of people decided to film on his locations. Otherwise, he'd been in every film, and every film would be worse because of his cameo. But Tim Curry's in it. Delightful as the concierge.
Is that the British one?
Well, he's British, so yeah, he was British in it.
That's what I'm thinking of.
But it was good.
Joe
and-
Pesci's in it.
Joe Pesci's in it. Trying not to swear.
Mm.
He was exactly.
Apparently, like on set, he would constantly say like the F word because he was so used to like
Because he comes from a long
doing
line of
art,
films.
like 15s. And,
Yeah,
But so
not around Kevin.
No, so the director told him to say fridge instead.
I just think what he's done there is so funny because I constantly hear like my mum and dad going.
He just articulates what every parent is probably like at Christmas,
Yeah.
trying to deal with kids. But yeah, it's a great film. They're great. They really are solid. But except for the fact that all he had to do was call the police once, and
Yeah.
everything would have been
But
solved.
the phone lines were down.
And they weren't down at the very beginning though. Were
Yes,
they?
yes, they were. When
He
the
could have
power-
just gone. He could have gone to someone
when,
else's house.
when the tree was wobbling about and it fell on the power lines.
Here's the thing, he walks out to the shop and buys groceries for crying out loud.
That's
How
true.
far away is the police station? Is it 50 miles away?
And then the bags like tear and everything falls out, and then he like has like enough to
Yeah, how
take
does he
out-
get those
That is
groceries
true.
home? Oh, that's
he
a
like
plot hole.
goes back home, grabs some more bags, goes back, and nobody's stolen anything. And
Exactly.
he gets them all up again.
Surely the police officer should have tried harder as well to get in the
Yeah.
house. He knows the kids are home alone. They're not lying to the parents aren't lying to him, to the police. I was like, oh yeah, nobody's home.
Yeah, couldn't they? Why didn't they not think? Oh no, they did try to call the police. The police went around and said, there's no one here, and then left, like good policemen should. When a mother calls to say they left their son at home.
It's like the mother's not lying to you. She's hysterical for crying out
But why
loud.
didn't Kevin just?
And
Oh no,
then-
he wanted to be home alone. He liked it in the end. Towards the end, didn't he? He enjoyed being.
He
at
goes
home
to
alone.
church.
He goes to church, yes. Presumably his local church that he knew.
Yeah.
And then,
That presumably lots of other people would know him from.
Kevin, what are you doing here? Aren't your family in that dismal... Where were they? Paris?
Florida, was it?
I think it was Paris. It was Florida in the second one.
Florida was second.
And it's always
raining
raining wherever they are. Terrible family as well. They were horrible. They're horrible to Kevin for no real reason.
Oh, I would have been so bad in Kevin's situation. Just my entire family, just everyone, my extended cousins, my great aunts. I just couldn't handle it. It was just like, no, just too many of you, go away.
I always wondered what the dad's job was that he could afford a massive house like
That's
that.
true. Because allegedly, presumably, for the rest of the year, they just live by, 3 siblings or so? I don't think his family's ever explained, is it?
Yeah, that's a massive
got a-
house for just free.
He's got a mum and a dad, and I think he's got, what is it?
Older brother.
Older brother. What's his name?
Buzz.
Buzz.
No, was it Buzz?
Yeah, Buzz.
Yeah.
With the trench.
You sure it was Buzz?
Yeah, it was Buzz.
Strange
And
name.
then I think he's got a sister as well, but it's never really explained.
Buzz, like you.
That's way before that time.
Kevin
Buzz did-
Lightyear.
Buzz did
Kevin
actually
Lightyear.
make a cameo in the most recent Home Alone, as a police officer.
Who does?
Buzz, the actor, makes a cameo.
Does he?
Yeah.
That's a nice little.
And it was
That's a nice little
It's
round.
because when he's obviously left Home Alone, it's like they call him. It's like, oh no, this is just Kevin pranking me again, and just leaves it.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, I see. Oh, so it's
So-
even the same universe.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. That's
See,
good.
he's a police officer, and at Christmas time, Kevin obviously does this every
That's
year.
poor police work by
It
that
is.
buzz.
I'm home alone. No, it's just Kevin pranking me again. Go away. And hangs up. It was very funny. But as a film, it wasn't very good.
Excellent star review. One star, but I like the cameo.
And it had that kid from Jojo Rabbit in.
Jojo Rabbit. Oh,
The British one.
I don't know. I haven't seen Jojo Rabbit.
It's very fun.
Okay,
If you've ever seen Drop Dead Fred, it's effectively Drop Dead Fred, but Drop Dead Fred's Hitler.
that's dark.
It's true. It is the truth.
Okay, well, no, I do want to see it just to see what that would be.
It's
like.
very fun. And it's not offensive because the guy who plays Hitler is Jewish.
Tangent control.
Yes.
Tangent control, yes.
Thanks, Ben.
Your own power against you, Scott.
To be fair, I'm the one that causes most of the tangents.
Yeah.
Just controlling my own tangents.
Okay, so we like Home Alone 1 and 2. Scrap the others unless you enjoy them. It's subjective. Live your own lives, but that's our opinion of them.
Home Alone 2
Don't
is
get left home alone.
Don't ever get left home. Parents, be better parents and don't leave your
Yes.
kids at home.
Don't lose your parents in airports because they wear
No,
the
that was
same
Kevin's
coat as
fault.
somebody.
That was Kevin's
That's
fault.
Kevin's fault.
He shouldn't have been playing with that.
He shouldn't have.
Whatever
He
it's
even
called.
told.
Auckland.
Don't be a Kevin.
Don't be a Kevin in the second one. But now we get to the point. What would you do if I threw you into the universe? So Scott, we'll start with Scott with the film. We'll start with you, Ben.
Okay.
So let's say you're thrown into the Home Alone universe, and that night before they all fall asleep, and then they almost miss their train.
As himself or as Kevin?
Fetching them.
As himself or as Kevin?
Which one would you like, as yourself or as Kevin? I'll throw you into the head of Kevin, and then you wake up going, "Oh, I know what's going to happen." What do you do?
I will be Kevin.
You're in the head of Kevin, and you're hyper aware of everything that will happen from this point forward.
I'm gonna head down to and change my name to Ben.
just for the sake, just for your own conscience.
I've got plenty of time.
Okay.
I mean, like,
Deepole, you're going to change your name to Ben just because you don't like being called Kevin.
yeah.
So now you're Ben in Kevin's head. Okay.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna set. So like the robbers don't have any weapons, do they?
No, they don't have a gun or anything. They do in the second one, I think,
Yes.
but not. They don't think they need it. So.
Just a crowbar.
Yeah, crowbar and
Which is used
something
against-
else, and a spanner maybe.
Which
Or maybe
is used
both crowbars. That's it. Crowbars.
Which is used against him in in one of the final scenes when he gets whacked in the chest with a.
Which probably would have killed him, but never mind.
Yeah.
So Ben,
Probably
crowbars
killed
are
him.
your only adversary. That much.
Meanwhile, I have got an air rifle, a tarantula.
We know that, yes.
Bricks, irons,
Paint,
tins,
tins,
rope.
micro machines,
Yeah, baubles that are really sharp.
glass ones. I assume that's what
Yeah,
they were.
Hot Wheels or
Hot
whatever
Wheels,
they call
an
it.
iron, a nail,
like something to
A blowtorch.
a blowtorch, yeah.
and a fan and oil and glue.
Fan and some
And some dynamite.
and some nails
Dynamite?
as well.
Dynamite.
Firecrackers.
Firecrackers.
Oh, okay, yes.
So I'm relatively, when he puts them in the bucket and then sets them off right next to the door to
Yeah, scare them
to
away.
scare them
'Cause
away with
they're
gunfire.
doing a little
Yeah.
a recce on the house, yes. So what are you
Yeah.
going to do?
So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to basically set up almost everything, like exactly where everything.
You're gonna progress the film right up to the point
Yeah,
of the break-in.
I'm
You're
gonna
gonna do the exact same
I'm
thing.
gonna set the traps like,
Yeah.
really early on, but I'm gonna set them better because I've got more time to do it.
Yes.
So like the glass baubles, I'm
Will
gonna
be even deadlier.
but like when he steps on them, I'm also gonna have like a paint to like knock him back through the window.
I can imagine, yes. You go, ow! And then bang! And smash right back through.
How does that work? Because Kevin only does that because he's able to throw him over the banister. You've got nothing to go.
I know, but you've got more time to set up more elaborate traps.
Yeah, I mean like he's stepped in there and he's just trodden on.
Board on a
He's
hinge
just like
with a weight
So
on it.
I've
got
and
my
that
Christmas
swings down and knocks him back.
I can just be like and throw it at him because like if he's immobilized by the glass, I mean like there's so
He's there in pain.
Yeah,
Like he stepped on a Lego brick.
and like I'm gonna like heat all the door hand.
Every single one.
Yeah.
But then you won't be able to use them. Just the internal. Oh, okay, just the external ones then.
Yeah, and I mean I'd have to heat the internals to make the externals
Yeah, but what I
He's
mean
just
is,
setting himself up for
I mean,
tragedy.
I mean the
Oh yeah,
the
not
internal
not,
doors,
no,
not
not
the
the
external doors.
The external doors.
Yes.
I'm gonna heat them all up. And so like, I'm gonna like, I'm just gonna walk around with the blowtorch and like whenever they come in, like,
Just you're just a pyromaniac.
I'm gonna so like when Joe Pesci finally gets through the door, I'm just gonna be like, fear.
I'll throw back to an early episode.
Or I just wait with like
Nail
paint
gun.
and nail gun. There's so many things that you could do.
So what you're doing is doing a saw-like situation.
Yeah.
Where you're just cackling throughout the whole thing, going, "I'm making this so much worse. These guys don't die. I'm just having fun." Because they don't. There's literally no way to kill these people.
I know which doors they're gonna come in next. I just run round and run back to the next
This
one.
is sounding all very vague, Ben.
It's all very vague. I mean, like,
You should put a mask on, like a clown mask. Of, do you want to play a game? When Marv and Nat enter the house, and then just do. It's basically a death trap for Marv, but they never die because
no.
they're immortal in this universe. Like
Not immortal. They're indestructible.
indestructible. They're clearly indestructible because
Or I'll lure them up onto the roof and just like push them.
smash, but they won't die. They'll just get up and come back for more. But the
Oh,
only
my
thing
head.
that takes them down is the spade from the next door neighbour.
From the back of the head.
The back of the
So
head.
I know their weakness.
You've worked out that is their kryptonite. That's true. You can do whatever you want to them, and at the end, aha guys, bam bam, and now you're out.
That's funny because in Home Alone 2, you just gets thrown bricks at him and he does nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, like a brick from like 3 stories up.
that would smash his skull.
Hits his head, and he just rolls up.
It makes you wonder if Kevin was in that. There's that the implication is Kevin is actually a psychopath and was trying to kill them the whole time and was constantly frustrated that nothing worked, but was savvy enough to have backup plans throughout the whole house. So you're in this. You're not going to change anything. You're just in it to have fun.
Yeah. I might just take the paint pots over to the houses that they're about to rob before they rob mine.
Now I like this even better. You're basically you're at the window waiting for the scream that comes from a house down the road as they fall into one of your other traps there.
Set traps in all the abandoned houses.
They do get to steal from them, but along the way you're just listening out. And then the next day, and so on until these really badly injured, burnt people come to your house, and then it's like a house of horrors for them.
Yeah.
Yep. I can see someone doing that. Then you do it all again in the second film.
In New York?
New York, you purposely get lost at the airport,
Yeah.
and then you go to the hotel and live off room service, knowing that you're about to have even more fun by butchering these 2 people once again.
Yeah.
And their only crime was thievery.
That brick scene is probably one of my favourite scenes in Home Alone. It's just so funny. Harry, and then he just moves out of the way.
It's just so.
You want to
I know my favourite from that is when in the second one when he pulls on the door handle. It's actually attached to a string and it pops out the door, and I realise it's attached to a string, and then that pulls that giant like workbench thing with all the tools in it, rattling down the stairs. Goes, and then Marv goes to Harry, "Can you hear that?" And they both put their heads to the door, and it smashes through it, takes them with it right out the front door. It's one of the best.
That
That's
was
what I
the
thought.
shadow of a toolbox falling down.
Oh, I need to watch it again.
So that's what Ben would do.
Yeah.
It's kind of a middle ground between good and bad.
So like by the end of the second movie, they're just terrified of me.
Yeah.
And
You
it's
should like send them pictures their prison cell, like of you, and then they have freakouts.
or just send them like a
Undeserved.
jar of paint or something.
And in some ways they did deserve it because they're going to steal that money from a children's fund in the second one. So we don't like these 2 people.
Another one of my favourite scenes in Home Alone 2 is when Harry slips on all that jelly and then he just falls back and for no apparent reason slides entirely across the other room, falling in all this paint. It was like when you fall, you just slip and you slip. But no, he slapped, fell all the way back, and he just went zoom, all the way to the other room. Just the way it was filmed, it was incredible. It was just hilarious.
I don't really watch the whole film anymore. I just skipped to the end and watched the
Because this
the
sequence
House
is
of
only
Horrors
about 15, 20 minutes or less.
Yeah, the primary thing about Home Alone is just that bit, the best bit is the half an hour or 15 minutes, as you say, of just torture.
Yeah.
There you go, Ben. Well done for
Thank
just
you.
having fun, and I salute you for just enjoying yourself in the film. Scott, you're in the Home Alone universe.
Yes.
What do you do?
So I find out I'm in the head to Kevin here.
So you want to be in Head to Kevin as well?
Yeah. I think it's the only logical thing you can do. Well, not only logical thing, but it's the most fun thing you could do.
Well, you could always be a random person who just calls the police and then tells them about that van with all the stolen goods in it or something. But no, we're having fun. So Scott, what do you do?
So when I go to the shops, I buy a lot more, those sliding door locks. I just buy a lot more of those.
I think I see where this is going.
And I set up all the normal traps. I don't add anything else, but I set up all the normal ones. So when they first come in, you know how Kevin's got that BB gun.
Yes.
So I wait for them.
The cat trap.
I shoot Harry in the crotch, and then when Marv sticks head in,
You shoot him in the face.
yeah, I shoot him in the face. But then when they're all in pain and trying to manage, I escape out the other side.
Yep.
And then I go to the neighbour's house and I call the police there.
You just end it immediately. You have 2 good shots.
Yeah.
But you secured your house with all these extra locks.
Exactly.
I didn't think to do that. Of course, that's
And
why didn't Kevin do that?
And
He
I
could have
make
bought
sure-
such good locks, set them all up.
Yeah. And I make sure the basement is locked because the burglars will assume I'm still in the house.
Yes. So, that's what Age is looking for.
So when Marv goes to the basement, he's not able to get the door open with the crowbar
No.
because the door's not locked. He just opens it. So I make sure that door's locked as well. So I do something very simple.
So they just take a little bit longer. You go to next door neighbour's house.
Yeah, I call the police.
And the police go there and they catch them in the act.
Pretty much, a very simple thing to do.
You don't trust your ability to make traps then, as Kevin.
No, I do all the normal traps because I think that they.
Oh, but you just do the smart thing and get out of the house early.
Yeah.
I suppose it's.
You can always call me if you want. I'll just have fun.
No, because
Do you realise the turn of events that is? You're in the Home Alone universe. You, as Scott as Kevin, is calling up Ben in England. Ben, I've got a problem, Ben. I've got some. Do you want to come round and just try and kill these guys? But they can't die. They're indestructible. And that's a strange sequence of events. But if you want to do it, Scott, it's fine.
it's very simple. I'm trying to think of a way to do it that's more interesting than just buying more door locks and calling the police.
I do. A lot of the traps were sort of automatic. They didn't need Kevin. Not all of them required Kevin to be there. So you could do a lot of pre-made traps while you were there calling the police and sipping tea in the neighbours.
You're just
neighbour's
watching.
house. You're watching all this
You can buy some
silhouetted
cameras.
nonsense. Yes.
It's like, so one of the neighbours was home.
No, the
Yes.
phone line was just.
No, one of the neighbours was home. It was that guy with a shovel. He was home.
Yeah, but
but-
Kevin didn't trust him. Although you
But
can
I know
trust
he's
him.
a good guy.
Yeah,
so I
you
just
know
go
he's a
to his
good
house
guy.
and go, yeah, these guys are chasing me. Can you call the police for me, please?
Exactly, and help me. Yeah, and be my witness. So you're just going to end it all.
Yeah.
That's
But
fine.
they escaped from prison anyway. So when I go to New York,
Okay, so we're in the second one now.
I just thought another one.
Okay, we'll do that in a second. So what would you do in number 2?
I'll let Ben do because I haven't decided number 2 yet.
Okay,
So I'll
Ben,
let
that's
Ben
you.
go.
So they get into my hotel room, don't they? At one point.
No, they don't get into the hotel.
Okay. I know where they're going to be. So
Is this first or second?
The second one.
Okay, cool.
So I'm gonna set up like a chair, a comfy chair, and a sofa, and I'm gonna be waiting there with some glasses and a notepad, and I'm gonna be like, so why do you want to rob? And I'm gonna set up this therapy session for them,
Where in the house?
in the place that they're trying to rob.
That's the toy thing.
Mm.
So you're so they come out of their hiding place
It's
to
so-
rob the children's thing, and you're there with a sofa inviting them to a psychiatrist,
Yeah,
and they want to kill you. Then.
it's so weird.
Oh no, you're going to be Ben. Are you going to be your normal
I'm
self?
gonna be Ben.
Yeah, so
I'm gonna be.
You're going to be your normal
It's
self.
so weird. Yeah, I'm gonna be my normal
That
self.
would
But the
work.
problem with that is
He has a gun.
Kevin's outside waiting to spoil their plan. So
And
you're
they
gonna,
have a gun.
then they have a gun in that one, so they might
So-
just kill you and steal the money and go. And Kevin's going to ruin the whole therapy session
Yeah, that's
by
true,
showing up
actually.
and blowing up
Okay.
half of it.
What's Kevin's weakness? I'm just gonna.
I'm
I'm gonna grab him and I'm gonna put him on a hook
Yeah,
on a door.
Kevin's weakness is his hooks.
It's his shortness.
That's how he feels. It is a weakness. If you're short and you get put on a hook, you are done. That's you out of the picture.
Shall we try it?
No,
That's
there's no hook that could hold me. No, that would definitely not hold my weight.
Alright.
Anyway, either way. Okay.
So I'll get Kevin
trying
out of
to
the way, and I'm gonna fix.
You're going to fix them with
the
therapy.
rub. Yeah.
Okay.
That's another one of my favourite scenes in Home Alone when he throws a brick through the window. As like smile, how he does or Marv does smile is like.
Oh, he does.
In the middle of bombing, he's like, "You're taking a picture of me," and Marv just goes. And
Yeah, he
in
does,
the
doesn't
butt,
he?
and it's just, I love that character so much.
Yeah, that poor guy. Bullied by that 11-year-old kid. I've got an idea of what I would do. It's not cool. Like in a sense,
That's fine.
you don't have to do anything in Home Alone because everything works out all right in the end, except for all those people, of course, who have their houses raided before,
And flooded.
like Kevin, yeah, and flooded, and like Kevin's there going, I'm not going to help them. They're not my house. I mean, imagine when all those people came back from holiday and their holiday's been ruined.
They open the door and like.
Yeah, exactly. Water
Oh.
comes out and everything's ruined and everything's been stolen.
Why is my water bill so high this month?
Exactly. So I could easily stop Marv and Harry before their thing even begins. I called police on the first house. They get arrested, job done. But that's a good thing I can do. But I did think of a bad thing I could do. And there is a way to take advantage of the Home Alone universe for your own profit. If you think about it, the Marv and Harry attack every house except for the McAllister house. I leave that till last. They consider that the gem. Which means they've got a van full of stolen jewellery, hi-fi equipment and everything like that. And they're going to leave that van unattended while they try to take care of this 10-year-old boy. So I wait for the evening. I get put into the universe whatever time it is, and I just bum around for a few days waiting for the inevitable torture session to begin. And as soon as Harry and Marv leave their van, I break into it, drive it away to a place where there's no cameras, and load everything into a new van, wipe it down for fingerprints, and then I've got a van full of stolen goods. I'm, who knows, probably a millionaire given how expensive those houses were and how expensive the jewellery probably is inside of it. And there you go, that's how you take advantage of the Home Alone universe. And then, there we go, I'm rich. And I buy one of those houses cheaper because they've all been water damaged.
Yeah.
I'm buying the house with their own stolen money. It's rich people. And that's how I would take advantage of the Home Alone universe. It's cruel, I admit that. I could save their stuff real easy, but nah, I'm just going to take all their stuff from Marv, who already did all the taking, and then walk away scot-free.
I have thought of a way of doing something good in Home Alone 2.
Go ahead.
So,
Taking out Donald Trump before he can run for president?
No. Well, let's not get political here. The
Actually,
comments will just
by taking out, I meant convincing him not to obviously do it.
Or
I
making
can't.
him a better
I don't think
person.
on this show I can advocate
assassination.
assassination. I'm definitely not. I don't want to get stopped at an American airport. Is my point. Anyway, Secret Service, if you're listening, I did not mean it in any way, and you know I didn't. So I don't know why you're patting me down at Los Angeles airport right now.
Go away!
That's them now. The American government is always listening.
Yes.
But you just trip Donald Trump up, and that'll set him on a new path.
No, but anyway. So I'm Kevin in this, and I know they're planning to rob the thing. So before I throw a brick through the window, I call the police anyway. So yeah, by the way, these two guys are robbing the toy store.
Yeah.
But then I get evidence of it. While the police are coming, I throw a brick through a window and get a picture of them and just run away. And by the time I've run away, the police have come and got them.
Oh, I see. So the exact moment the police turn up, you've already smashed the window, so then you have to go through the whole shenanigans in the house.
Yeah.
That's clear. That's clean cut.
Yeah.
You also got to help that pigeon woman somehow.
Pigeon woman.
Yeah, the woman with the birds who saves him at the end.
Oh, yeah.
Kevin does have a knack for talking to strangers, doesn't he?
And then all those strangers turn out to be good. Do you think there's a film version, there's a script, the third script involving Kevin McAllister, where he talks to a stranger and that stranger turns out to be evil? That was the one stranger he shouldn't have trusted.
Then he set the traps in their house
Yes.
to escape.
That's even dark. Kevin hopefully maybe got a job down the line of setting traps places.
He did, because in Home Alone, the new one, he has his own security company.
Does he?
He does. It's called the McAllister Security.
Which is what, a house full of dangerous traps?
Well, no, just I've seen better security.
To become like a pest control
I did not know that.
for humans.
The film is no good. I did not enjoy myself, but it's just.
And there seems to be in this film, it's a poor film, but lots of interesting little throwbacks, which are actually quite funny.
I only watched it because I wanted to see how bad it was, and it was terrible.
Oh well.
Yeah.
I think we'll end that there, fellas. Lots of good things that we would do if we were thrown into the Home Alone universe. How we could become rich. How we could just have fun torturing two indestructible goons
Wait,
forever and ever and
I thought
ever.
of something else.
Okay, one more, Scott.
So
and it's Christmas.
Yeah, it's Christmas. So it's Home Alone 2. Marv and Harry are chasing Kevin around. I'm just as myself. I sneak into the toy store afterwards and fill my bag with money, and then head out. So while the police are after Marv and Harry, I sneak in.
So in a sense, because they get caught
Yeah.
later, and so they take the rap for
Yes.
your, and there'll be police will go, so where did you get all the money? We didn't do the robbery. We don't believe you. We have evidence of you trying to steal it. So, but meanwhile, you've gone out the back way carting a load of money for children.
Because the window's been smashed by Kevin, so I have an entryway, so I don't have to get my sticky fingerprints everyone.
Yeah, because the sticky bandits.
Yeah, the wet bandits now.
No, it's the wet bandits first,
Then
and
the
then it's
sticky
sticky
bandits.
bandits.
Yes. So that's my way of benefiting.
They changed their name.
Yeah, they changed it.
Yeah,
Marv
'cause-
changes. Marv calls them what they are.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
The
The wet bandits.
And then Marv covers his hand
So
in
weird.
sticky tape and just sticks his hand in those Santa buckets, getting quarters and dimes and stuff.
Yeah,
Ah,
they were nice guys. They
No.
got everything they deserved.
Yes.
Yeah.
They deserve that massive iron face print on his face.
Quick-
Are they
the face.
in 3, 4, 5? Do they ever return?
No.
Oh, okay.
I think 3 they just the rest they just recast everyone.
That's fine. I don't think I really haven't spoiled it for myself.
Imagine if like Kevin had like hired them to work for his security company.
Security guards. Maybe there should be a one where they're all old and they come back to try and get him when he's older.
And it's like,
And it's like a really slow film. Yeah.
Hey,
So now they're old people falling over and hurting each other. I don't know. There's,
oh my hip.
there's so many possibilities. It could go on forever. Or they haunt him and it becomes a sort of sequel where Kevin gets haunted by the ghosts.
Yeah.
And then it becomes a Ghostbusters sequel.
Dun,
Where Kevin has to enlist the help of the Ghostbusters to catch Harry and Marv. Another was
I
that a
would
Christmas
watch that.
film? No, I don't think it was a Christmas film.
Ghostbusters.
Was it a Christmas
I
film?
don't think so.
I don't think so. We watched it a lot at Christmas, but no, not a Christmas film.
If you think it's a Christmas film, put it down in the comments.
We won't read them. But anyway, maybe we will. I guarantee nothing.
Unless I disagree with you, in which case I won't read them.
I might write an essay if what you write in the comments about Ghostbusters being a Christmas film seems wrong, but who cares?
Be prepared
Maybe
for
our next film.
retribution.
Maybe our next film is Ghostbusters. Spoiler? No, we haven't decided yet.
Haven't seen it.
I don't like, guys. One thing about Home Alone, the idea of a kid getting left at home. In a way, what happens to Kevin is it takes a lot of coincidences for it to happen.
Yeah.
But kids must get left at home alone all the time, and then they have to defend their property.
Well, burglars.
But actually, I don't know if you could ever redo. Can you redo Home Alone any differently than how it was done? Like you said, there's 5 films, but they're all the same, aren't they? Some guy gets trapped alone at home. He knows someone's going to try and break in, and so he just tries to kill
The
them
fifth
multiple times and
The
fails.
most recent one had a slightly different concept to it, but so the burglars. So Kevin, or whatever his name is, I don't remember. I'll try to go through this very briefly. So he went to this open house, the people who owned the house
Yeah.
thought he stole something valuable, but he didn't. So they break into Kevin's house to try and steal it back, but realise that he gets left home alone, and it's all very
Convoluted.
yeah. The burglars are only doing it because they thought something valuable when they're going broke, but they didn't. But they actually look after Kevin because he's home alone. It's all very complicated, and it's all happy clappy. It's like ugh, hate it.
Why aren't people being tortured in this film?
Exactly. Why are people's heads being smashed in with bricks?
Could you do an adult version of Home Alone where a normal guy, like it's kind of like a Die Hard / Home Alone scenario where one guy who's actually this Marine is left in charge of like some big museum or something, or even bigger house like a
That's
like a
called
ma-
Night in the Museum.
I feel like we've
No, but unlike Night in the Museum, he's getting invaded by terrorists or people, and then he sets even more dangerous traps and like
we
people get killed.
I mean that basically happens.
It's just
in,
illogical, just
in-
grown men with shotguns.
It basically happens in John Wick 1.
Mm.
Like loads of assassins.
But he doesn't set up traps for
No,
them,
but
sort
he
of way.
kills them all.
No, but okay. So let's say it's just traps, multiple. Like it's kind of like almost a MacGyver situation as well, which you might not know of. But it's a guy who uses like common everyday objects to do amazing things. So like maybe it is like Night at the Museum, but he knows he knows criminals are coming in, so he has to use ordinary objects to select traps and take out like 100 terrorists, all trying to get either him or the thing he's guarding. Do an adult version of Home Alone. Although, put in the comments if you can imagine a film that's already like that. I guess in some ways, and there must be like, in a sense, Die Hard is a Home Alone film. I guess it kind of is. Like,
they've already done it.
They've already done it. Like, but like White House Down or something
limo.
like that, where they've all invaded the White House and he's moving through the White House. He's not setting traps. He's not like using the bust of Lincoln to take out any terrorists.
Well, this just sounds like Home Alone 2. Oh, no. Because it wasn't stolen, it was moved.
Yeah. But I'm just like, the adult version of... Do that film. A remake Home Alone, but now it's The Rock trapped in...
No, not The Rock.
Not The Rock.
What's wrong with The Rock?
I don't like The Rock.
Why
Oh,
not?
dear.
I don't know, he's just...
We apologise, Mr. Johnson.
I stand by all my statements.
Unless you met The Rock, in which case you'd change your tune very quickly.
I mean,
There's
no
mountain of a man.
Yeah.
It's just standing in front of
apart from Jumanji, no Kevin Hart film.
Right, then, Tom Holland. Tom Holland is a security guard at a place where there's lots of various things he could use to make. It's always Tom
and
Holland.
he makes web shooters. And he becomes Spider-Man.
A very different Spider-Man origin story.
He like uses like glue and oven mitts and becomes like up the wall.
Okay, that would be a nice little throwback at some point during the film, but I don't know. Make that film. Happy with that?
I'm happy.
Thank you, guys.
I'm not unhappy.
We're nearing the end, so but thank you for taking part in this Christmas special.
Tis okay. 'Twas a pleasure.
It is too. It's best that we're going to do what you should do is plug some things. Like it's kind of too late for me to plug my books because Christmas has passed and you can't buy them anymore for your kids. But if they weren't satisfied with the books you did get them at Christmas, buy my books.
Buy these ones.
Buy these ones. Thank you, Scott.
They're on screen now.
They're on screen now.
Well, actually, I did get bought your book for Christmas.
You did.
Actually.
Which
Yes.
one was it?
Stolen Futures #1.
Number 1. Have
Only
you started
number
reading
one?
it yet?
I have not yet.
How dare you?
Christmas was 2 days ago, Mark.
That's true. Yeah, he's not had a lot of time, but. I'd really like your thoughts on it once you've read it, Ben.
I will.
All the way through. And there's 2 more for you to read after that if you do like it.
Yes.
Scott will sing their praises.
They are all very good.
I said
very much
sing
enjoy them.
your praises.
I don't sing.
Oh, sorry.
Oh.
I apologise. They're good.
Oh, come on. No, I can't sing any of those
I
songs.
can't.
No.
I don't have the wherewithal to turn a Christmas song into
Um,
something about stolen futures.
No.
No.
Oh,
if-
stolen futures, the night is bright. No, I'm going to stop.
If
Yes,
you wanna-
it's terrible. You can't
If
do
you
it.
want to hear more of that, then leave it down in the comments and we'll make it.
We'll make a musical video
A
of
carol
us
singing.
singing advertisements out of Christmas tunes. We'll do that next year. That'll be our Christmas
I
special.
stand by all these statements apart from that one that was just said.
It's
Scott
not your
won't do it.
statement, so.
You signed a contract, Scott. You have to do this.
Fine.
But anyway, go buy. Yeah, it's too late to buy my books, but buy them for the new year. Fresh start with a fresh load of books. Stolen Futures, Half Human, or Alien Hunter Connor Jones. It's up to you. And I will ask Ben next episode if he did read it, and I'll keep asking until he has. But either way, Scott. I mean, not Scott. I mean, Ben. I believe you've
Okay.
got something to. Sorry.
No.
I believe you've got something to plug as well.
I do. My YouTube channel, Upstairs Studios. It's great fun, and you love it. And well, that is evidenced by the
Likes and views.
which is insane.
More the views than the likes. I've seen the likes to view ratio. Sorry, Ben.
Are you insulting me, Scott?
No, I wouldn't do that.
That's
Do
why
I need
Scott
to
is
set up
doing this.
traps in my house when you come
And then
over?
invite him over.
Yeah.
But give the game away. There. But go see the Christmas.
The
video
Christmas
you did.
special. Mark and Scott featured in it,
I was
and they
in it.
did great.
I get to be Thanos.
Mm.
That's cool.
Scott did his in one take,
I did.
I had
including
3.
BB-8.
BB-8. You sounded just like a screaming R2 unit.
And now he can't go that high, so
Ever
treasure it.
since, ever since I was sick for 3 weeks, I can no longer go that high. So
Yeah, it's a shame. That's why we've been on hiatus for a few weeks.
I was on a sabbatical.
It's about to, he was improving his voice.
Yes.
For the
But we're glad you're well now, Scott. By the
Why,
way.
thank you.
yes.
And by the way, one thing we have these episodes of What If are being put on the 8th podcast,
Woo!
available where all good podcasts are found, like the Apple Store, Spotify, and some other places. I'm sure.
Link
So
in the description.
if you like just listening to these on a long journey, go check out our podcast. There's 2 episodes up. We'll add a third later this week. That's great. Isn't that great, ladies and gentlemen?
That is
This is great.
incredible.
The 8th plot
Because
podcast.
I don't know what's happening in these episodes.
Wait, you're...
That's a joke.
Oh.
The fact that I am here, I know what has taken place.
Sorry, Scott. Merry Christmas, Scott. Anyway, it's time to say goodbye. Thanks very much. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. Check out the podcast. And yeah, Merry Christmas to you both, guys.
Merry Christmas, you filthy animal. And a Happy New Year.
And a Happy New Year. Should we sing a Happy New Year?
No, let's not.
Ben, should we do it? And a Happy New Year. This is the sound of us singing, not Scott getting... This is the sound of Scott getting an iron to the face. There were so many good stuff to choose from. I could have said, this is the sound of Scott getting a toolbox slamming into it. This is...
That was the sound of a toolbox falling down the stairs.
This is the sound of him getting shot in the face. This is the sound of him being blowtorched on the head. And one more, I think. This is the sound of him being mobbed by hundreds of pigeons.
This is the sound of him being hit round the back of the head with a shovel.
Bong. Happy New Year, everyone. Goodbye.